This Bitcoin Lightning wallet was once out of reach for American citizens, but now it's back. Welcome to Phoenix Wallet, the simplest path to full self-custody Bitcoin Lightning on mobile. Today, we're going to take a look at how to set up Phoenix Wallet and use it, as well as how it works in the background and how can you use it most optimally for your specific use case. I'm Ben with the BTC Sessions. This is your daily session. Phoenix Wallet is back in the US after having previously been removed from US app stores due to regulatory concerns. With the change of administration, US customers can now again download Phoenix and enjoy all of its special features. Today in this tutorial, we're going to be going through basic setups specifically tailored to you and your use cases for a mobile Bitcoin wallet, whether you're going to be receiving more than you send or vice versa, or a little bit of both. We're also going to dive deeper into how Phoenix actually works in the background and some of the nuts and bolts. You can feel free to tackle this video in sections, starting with the basics and returning later to level up your knowledge of Lightning Network and some of the advanced features in Phoenix. And in terms of prerequisites, if you're brand new to Bitcoin, all you need to know is that Lightning Network allows for faster and cheaper transactions on Bitcoin. In terms of things that are an asset, you're going to want to know where you're going to actually obtain Bitcoin, because I won't be covering that in this video, but I will have some links down below if you want to check out some options. And you should have a basic knowledge of sending and receiving Bitcoin transactions. That would be an asset, but not 100% necessary, given that I'll be doing a demonstration for you showing how that might work. With that, I think we're ready. Let's dive in. So here we are with Phoenix Wallet freshly installed on my Android phone. We're going to go through the initial setup and backup process. So we have a welcome screen letting us know sending and receiving Bitcoin is easy and safe with Phoenix. We'll click next. Phoenix uses payment channels to make Bitcoin fast and private. We'll hit next one more time. Phoenix is self-custodial. You take control. You can restore your wallet at any time using your secret key. Keep it safe. And we're going to hit get started. So we have two options right at the gate: create new wallet or restore my wallet. So restore, just for note for later, is when you back up your wallet, you're going to get 12 English words. If you have deleted the app or lost or broke your phone and need to get it onto a new phone, this is where you would once again download Phoenix Wallet. You would hit restore and you would type in the 12 words that were previously provided to you. So that would just be from the main screen here. But we are creating a new wallet right now, so we'll choose that option. And really quickly, it creates us a brand new wallet on our phone. That single button is it. However, we have to make sure that we back up the wallet with those 12 words that I told you about. You can do that really simply from the main screen by clicking on the notification that says back up your wallet to prevent losing your Bitcoins. When I do that, it gives us some information. The recovery phrase, sometimes called a seed, is a list of 12 English words. It allows you to recover full access to your funds if needed. Only you alone possess this seed. Keep it private. So again, I'll reiterate, you're the only one who has this. Phoenix doesn't have a copy of it. You are responsible for it. It says, do not share the seed with anyone. Beware of phishing. The developers of Phoenix will never ask for your seed. So again, this is sensitive information. It is literally the keys to your money. You're going to keep it private and safe, and you're going to write it down physically apart from your phone, because if it's saved on your phone and you lose your phone and the app, you're not going to be able to recover. And again, down below, just to reiterate what I said, it says, do not lose this seed. Save it somewhere safe, not on this phone. If you lose your seed and your phone, you've lost your funds. Down below, it gives an option to display our seed. When I click it, it's going to be blanked out for you. I will be able to see it. That's just a security mechanism. And it shows on my screen in this black area here, I see it says, keep this seed safe, do not share. And it shows me 12 words, which I'm going to make note of now. And then I'll hit the OK button, which you also can't see, and we'll jump ahead to that point. Now that I've backed it up, there's a couple backup confirmation tick boxes that I can hit below. I check I have saved my recovery phrase somewhere safe, and I check I understand that if I lose my phone and my recovery phrase, I will lose my funds and my wallet. With that done, I can hit the back button and we are all set up. Our Phoenix wallet is ready to go. Before we start using it, let's just really quickly explore what's in front of us and how to navigate through the wallet. On our main screen here up top, we have a balance. It is in sats. Now, if you're unfamiliar, there are 100 million sats in a Bitcoin, and a lot of Lightning wallets default to this smaller denomination because it's easier to look at than decimals. If I tap on the balance up top, it will also convert to a US dollar equivalent. So it will tell you how much the Bitcoin in your wallet is currently worth in US dollars, or if we change it later in another local currency. And finally, if I click one more time, it will blank out any amounts on this main screen to protect your privacy from prying eyes. Now down below, there's nothing here now, but this will be where any previous transactions I've done are populated so I can see details and any notes on them. At the bottom of the screen, we have a receive and send button. Sounds pretty self-explanatory to me. In the bottom left, there's a settings wheel. We're going to take a quick look at the settings for anything we may want to do up front. Any advanced stuff we'll take a look at later in the video in the advanced sections. So when I click on settings, what is important to you right now? Well, one might be display. If I click on display, it allows me to change my local currency and my Bitcoin unit. I said that 100 million sats are in a Bitcoin, but if you prefer to see your amount in full Bitcoin and look at the decimals, you can change that. There are a couple other denominations that you can put in here. Bit and millibit aren't widely used, but if you prefer to see those, you can select them here. You again can change your local currency from USD to a variety of different options. I'm going to leave mine put. Down below, you also have options for the theme, so light or dark mode, and for your local language. Other things that you may want to pay attention to. We're going to skip over a number of these, but if there's any notifications in the app, you can see them here. Currently none so far. Now, access control may be something you want to play with here. This would be adding biometrics and other things like custom pins to protect the wallet and access to it. If you need to see your recovery phrase again or double check it, you can see that here. And once again, click on display seed. Other than that, there are some more advanced things here that we are going to be touching on later. But if you do want to wipe your wallet later, there's a button that says reset wallet that will get rid of all data that was previously in the app. But other than that, we will be coming back to some of these other settings later on in the video. And so now we're ready to dive in and start using Phoenix Wallet. The first way I want to outline in terms of how to use Phoenix Wallet is going to be from the perspective of somebody that is loading a spending wallet. So you have Bitcoin, or you're going to acquire Bitcoin so that you can easily spend it via the Lightning Network whenever you like. So you'll be basically loading your wallet for use later to make purchases or send frequent transactions with minimal amounts of receiving. So we're going to do that right now. And we're going to start from the perspective of somebody who already has Bitcoin that is perhaps sitting on a hardware wallet or sitting in another Bitcoin wallet where it's regular, what's known as on-chain Bitcoin, but you want to have it on the Lightning Network. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to go down to the bottom where it says receive. And this takes us to our receive screen. Now, the very first time we get here, we're going to see something about configuring our fee limit. And that has to do with when you're loading this wallet for the first time, and in other instances in the future, if you build a balance, you may incur a fee, or you most definitely will the first time. This allows you to configure your fee limit, aka make sure that you don't get hit with too many fees. The absolute limit that is set by default at the time of recording this video would be 5,000 sats. It's telling me it's going to be below that in its estimation right now. I'm not going to go into configuration or anything yet. We're just going to get this wallet loaded. So I'm going to dismiss this notification. On our receive screen right now, we have two QR codes that we can slide between. We have Lightning and we have Bitcoin. With an empty wallet, you can still receive a Lightning transaction or a regular Bitcoin transaction to load the wallet, and it'll just take a little bit of time to confirm and fund the first time before you can spend it easily. And so, again, we're going from the perspective of somebody who has Bitcoin, perhaps on a hardware wallet, or perhaps you're on an exchange where they don't have the option to withdraw via Lightning. And so you're going to withdraw a regular Bitcoin transaction to your Phoenix wallet. So we're going to swipe to the side and get our Bitcoin address. This QR code can be scanned by another wallet, or down below, there's a Bitcoin address which you can copy with this copy button here. So I'm going to jump over to another wallet that I've covered previously. It's going to look a little complex. Don't let that distract you too much. Just know that I'm sending a regular Bitcoin transaction to my Phoenix wallet. So I'll jump over here. This is Sparrow Wallet, and I'm just going to go to my send screen. I'm going to paste in that address that I copied. It's always good to check the last few digits and the first few digits to make sure that they're the same, which looks pretty good to me. And then I'm just going to say where I'm sending it. So I'm sending it to Phoenix. And how much do I want to send? So in this wallet, I've got a decent amount here. So what I'm going to say is when you're loading Phoenix Wallet for spending, ideally you want to load it with kind of the upper threshold of what you would feel comfortable with walking around as cash in your pocket. It's a spending wallet. And so maybe that answer for you is a few $100s. So I'm going to send over in and around 300,000 sats, which it tells me is roughly 252 US dollars. I'm going to set my fee for how quickly I want it to go through. Again, these details you don't need to worry about. I'm just sending a Bitcoin transaction. If you're curious about Sparrow, though, I'll leave a link to my recent tutorial down below. Nonetheless, I'm just hitting the blue buttons to send off this transaction into my Phoenix wallet. And as soon as we see it go off, we'll jump over to Phoenix to see what it looks like as it's being received. There's my notification. So I've now sent the transaction. Let's jump over to Phoenix. From here, I can press the back button to my main screen, and we see a change here. While the top balance isn't changed, there's a little notification down below. It shows a chain icon and then plus 300,000 sats. And what that means is there is a regular Bitcoin transaction that is being sent to my wallet. And what needs to happen is it needs to be officially settled and confirmed before my balance is available. Now, Phoenix Wallet waits for what's known as 3 confirmations. Regular Bitcoin transactions typically settle every 10 minutes or so. And so this will take roughly about 30 minutes to be fully loaded into my wallet and spendable, at which point I'll be able to send transactions instantly and for very, very low fees. So we'll wait for this to land in my wallet, and we'll take a look at how it looks once we have full self-custody in Phoenix. All right, so it's been some time now, and we now have our funds fully confirmed and in the wallet. So you can see up top, we have a balance. Now, it is just shy of that 300,000 sats, and that's because of fees incurred upon loading the wallet. But again, we'll get into details about that later. Nonetheless, we can see 298,000 some odd sats. If I tap on it, I can see a US dollar amount that is represented there. And if I tap again, it will blank out all of the transaction information, including that down below. And speaking of down below, we can actually see our on-chain deposit, as it labels it, of 298,000 some odd sats. And if we click on it, we can see a little bit more details on it, including a breakdown of the fees. So the service fees from Phoenix for setting up the Lightning channel, and then the regular miner fees of just sending an on-chain transaction. And so that is all there. We now have a spendable balance. Now, before I move on and show using this as a spending wallet, I want to show another way of funding the wallet via a regular Lightning transaction. I'm going to do it in a way where indeed it will also incur a fee. And again, we'll get into the details about why this is, but this would be the same as if we had a zero balance and we wanted to deposit with Lightning from perhaps another Lightning wallet or an exchange that allows for Lightning withdrawals. This would be a similar setup. So I'm going to receive a transaction for, we'll say another 200,000 sats. And I'm going to do that by clicking on receive. And then I'm going to use this Lightning address, but I'm going to set an amount that I want. So I'm going to click on edit, and then I'm going to type an amount that I want. So 200,000 sats, which you can see is around $167. I can add a description here if I want to. We'll just say test. And then I'm going to tap on create invoice. Now it does tell me that an on-chain fee is expected. I can tap to view to know more, which I'll do just to see. It gives me a little pop-up at the bottom. It says an on-chain operation will likely be required for you to receive this amount. The fee is estimated to be the following. So I'm going to dismiss that again, but just so we know, we're going to incur a fee to load this amount for spending later on for cheap, quick transactions. So I'm going to click create invoice. Now, what this actually did is it changed the QR code a little bit to encode it with some additional information in around how much we're actually spending. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to send over from another wallet that I have. And I'm going to scan the QR code rather than copying the invoice, which we could do by tapping here and then pasting it into another app. I've got a secondary phone here with a Lightning wallet loaded up. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to scan with my camera what's on the screen. And I'm going to hit confirm and send. And we should see that pop up for us momentarily here in Phoenix. So there we see received just now, and we see 197,000 sats. And again, we can see there's a fee associated with it and a breakdown of it, but we see the nice little check mark and notification. If I go back here, then this actually was automatically sorted for me. So I received the full amount, but an on-chain transaction was necessary to make that happen, which is why the fee was incurred. Again, details on exactly what that means later in the video. Nonetheless, all you need to know is we've been able to receive into the wallet in two different ways, using a regular Bitcoin transaction and using a Lightning transaction. And now we have a loaded balance that we are now able to spend seamlessly via the Lightning network with instant settlement in transactions. So now let's test it out. Bitcoin Well is the best place to be buying and selling Bitcoin in Canada and the US. And now with Bitcoin Well Infinite, it's also the best place to be making large buys at their OTC desk of over $50,000. Their white glove service gives you fast transactions, no slippage, and the lowest fees. You can scan the QR code on the screen or simply head to bitcoinwell.com/BTC sessions to sign up today. And you can share your own personalized referral link to earn commissions. Looking for a simple and secure way to manage your Bitcoin on mobile? Aqua Wallet has you covered. It's user-friendly and puts you in full control of your Bitcoin with secure self-custody. Aqua also supports Lightning and Liquid Network, making fast, cheap Bitcoin payments and asset transfers easier than ever. Plus, it even supports stablecoins, giving you ultimate flexibility. Built on open source code, Aqua is transparent, trustworthy, and perfect for beginner and pros alike. Ready to upgrade your Bitcoin experience? Click the link in the show notes or scan the QR code on the screen now to download Aqua Wallet today. Debify is the best and easiest way to borrow against your Bitcoin in a non-custodial way. Funds are held in a multi-sig escrow where you hold a key, and the platform allows for excellent hardware like the Cold Card Mark IV and the Q. You have access to flexible conditions, the best rates, and institutional grade liquidity. If you're looking to make use of your capital, don't sell your Bitcoin, borrow against it. You can head over to debify.com to check them out, or simply scan the QR code on the screen. Okay, so we're going to be sending out of Phoenix Wallet as a spending wallet. So we're going to be spending Lightning transactions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just jump over to another Lightning wallet for an example here. So I've got Aqua Wallet here, and I'm just going to hit receive, and I'm going to choose Lightning, and I'm going to choose an amount that I want. So let's say 50,000 sats. Okay. I'm going to generate an invoice here, and then I'm going to copy that invoice. Again, I'm using it on the same phone. Otherwise I could just scan it. But then I'll jump over. Instead, I'm going to paste in that invoice. So again, from Phoenix, I could scan a QR code, or I can paste in an invoice. And so if I jump back to Phoenix, there's a send button in the bottom right. When I tap that, it gives me the option again to paste something in or to scan a QR code. So I'm going to, in this case, paste something in. And so this is what I copied over from Aqua Wallet. I'm going to hit the little paper airplane icon here, and it tells me exactly what this request is for. It's for 50,000 sats worth this much in USD, and gives me a little description of what's happening here. And then I can simply hit pay. I can see the fee that I'm going to pay is 204 sats. So I'm going to hit pay, and off it goes. We get the notification. Just jumping back to Aqua, we can see that we've received 50,000 sats into the wallet, which is now ready to spend. So nice and easy with the ability to send via pasting the invoice. Let's take one other example. We'll go over and we'll buy a gift card on BitRefill, and this time we'll scan the QR code instead. So here I am on BitRefill. I've queued up an invoice where I'm buying an Amazon gift card, and they just have a simple QR code. So all I need to do to be able to scan that is over on Phoenix Wallet, I'm going to click on send. I'm going to click on scan QR code. Now I have opened this up before, but if it's your first time, it will tell you that you need to approve and allow the camera to open when you're using the app. So with that, I'm just going to scan it, and it should autofill the information here from BitRefill. Okay, and with the information filled in, again, we get how many sats we're sending, the amount equivalent in USD, a description here, and the fee description down below. I can just simply hit pay. And with that sent off, we'll check back at BitRefill, and we can see it's already gone through and they've received the payment. Now, there are other ways that you can send other than scanning invoices or pasting in Lightning invoices with Phoenix. You can also send to Lightning addresses. Now, Phoenix has support for Lightning addresses, regular ones, as well as Bolt 12 offers. I'm not going to get into the technicals of what those things are, but I'll just show an example of a Lightning address here. And this is my Nostr account, if you're unfamiliar with Nostr or the Primal app. I'll leave a link in the description down below. But nonetheless, what I have is something that looks like an email address that's actually for money. So I can very simply just copy that information, jump back to Phoenix, and when I click the send button, I can paste in my Lightning address, and it will be able to send to that. So it says, hey, this is where it's sending to. It lets me know that it's Primal. And then at this point, I can put in the amount that I want. Now, you can actually, as you're setting this, if you're not scanning something that has a preset amount, you can also choose if you want to send a certain amount of sats or a US dollar equivalent. So if I do that, then I can back out here. But let's say I want to send just $1 US, and it sorts that out for me. That's around 1,192 sats. I can just hit pay, and that should be sent off right away. So that looks good. Let's jump back over to Primal, make sure that I got it. If I go back, there we go. And there's my Lightning payment received right here for 1,192 sats. USD value of $1. So that worked no problem with a Lightning address. All right, so this next section is going to cover utilizing Phoenix Wallet from the perspective of somebody that expects to receive more payments than they send. So perhaps somebody like a merchant. And in this case, there's a little bit more nuance to how you can optimize for that. So when we originally received a regular on-chain transaction, and then we received a Lightning transaction, those transactions incurred fees. And the way it works is once you've sent money into Phoenix, those funds are converted in a way where you're able to easily spend on the Lightning Network. But every time you receive more than the original amount, which in our case, we received 2 transactions, one near 300,000 and one near 200,000, for a total of around 500,000 sats. That's kind of our top amount that we can receive into the wallet at any one time without incurring another fee. So we could spend this full amount and then we'd be able to receive around 500,000 sats without incurring fees. But if you're constantly adding to your balance, you're going to be hit with a lot of fees. So how do you optimize for that? Well, one way is kind of a hack given the way that we've loaded the wallet already. You can deposit with a large one-time amount, whatever you like, so that you have this large threshold for being able to receive payments. And then you can send the balance that you have in Phoenix Wallet out via the Lightning Network with a destination wherever you like. There is a funky way that you can do it using a couple of different resources. One of them is called Bolts, but I'm going to be using Aqua Wallet this time to send a bunch of my money from this wallet out. And then from Aqua Wallet, if I want, I can swap it on chain. I can do whatever I want, but I'll still be able to receive my up to 500,000 sats here in the wallet. So just to show really quick here, a way that you can get Lightning out of Phoenix Wallet, your funds via Lightning out of Phoenix Wallet to allow for more inbound transactions and get your funds back into maybe a hardware wallet or somewhere that you're going to keep them safe and away, is bolts.exchange. And so when you head to this website, all you need to do is select what you're sending and what you want to receive. So in this case, there's a little arrow. It shows what you're sending, what you're receiving, and I can swap those out by pressing the little arrow here, but I can send a Lightning transaction and receive Bitcoin. And all I need to do is I just need to enter a Bitcoin address, and then it says there's a minimum amount of 25,000 sats that I need to do in order to execute this. So you would basically just provide where do you want the on-chain Bitcoin to go, and then you would designate how much you want to send. There's their minimums and maximums, 25,000 sats up to 25 million sats, which is plenty. And you would send a Lightning transaction and then receive your on-chain Bitcoin. Aqua Wallet has this feature baked in. So if you get funds over to Aqua Wallet, there's a swap button that'll then allows you to swap to on-chain Bitcoin to do with as you please after that. So I'm just going to simply send this out right now. So I'm going to jump over to Aqua Wallet. I'm going to hit receive and Lightning. Now, I had roughly 400,000 sats in there. I'm going to go a little bit below that. Maybe I'll say 390,000 sats. I'm going to generate an invoice here, and I'll copy it, and I'll jump back over to Phoenix Wallet. And from here, I'm going to send. I'm going to paste in what I've just copied, and then I'll pull it up. It shows me the amount I'm sending, 390,000 sats. That looks good. I'm going to go ahead and pay. I do see all the other details down below. Okay, so off that sends. I'll back out. And let's take a look here. Yep, we received it over in Aqua Wallet. Okay, and back to Phoenix. So Phoenix, now I only have a few thousand sats sitting here, but I'm able to receive up to 500,000 sats roughly into this wallet without incurring a fee. So I can now easily receive anytime through a variety of means. So let's take a look at receiving funds in Phoenix Wallet, but not before I show you another way that you can get a lot of inbound capacity without having to do as many steps. And that is a baked in feature here known as Request Liquidity. CoinKite has been in the game for years, creating hands down the best and most secure hardware when it comes to securing your Bitcoin. The Cold Card Q is an absolute powerhouse and my daily driver, and it's ideal for newcomers and advanced users alike. The Tap Signer gives you a low-cost, user-friendly option for those just getting started or for convenience when traveling. You can head to coinkite.com and use code BTC Sessions for discounts, or simply scan the QR code on the screen to get started right away. Securing your Bitcoin doesn't have to be complicated or invasive. With Nunchuck's Honey Badger plan, you get state-of-the-art multisig with built-in inheritance planning and no KYC required. Nunchuck is trusted by users to secure billions of dollars in Bitcoin. The Honey Badger plan offers 204 assisted multisig, guiding you step-by-step on mobile or desktop. It works seamlessly with hardware wallets like Tap Signer, Cold Card, Jade, and plenty of others, so you're always in control. Plus, with non-KYC inheritance planning, you can ensure your Bitcoin goes to your loved ones. No private info needed. Take control of your Bitcoin today. Click the link in the show notes or scan the QR code on the screen to check out the Honey Badger plan. So with the Request Liquidity button up top, this allows you to get increased inbound payment capacity. And once you've gone through this feature, whatever the threshold you've set, you will no longer incur fees when you're receiving funds up to that amount. So let's take a look at how this works. We're going to click on Request Liquidity. It says plan ahead. Currently, you can receive up to 502,000 sats. You can request additional on top of that and then pay for that. So you can see there's a slider. You can go 100,000, 250, 500, a million, 2 million, 10 million. So you basically can choose how much you want to be able to receive. So maybe let's take a look at what it would be. Let's start on the low end and we can estimate how much this would cost us. So I'm going to click estimate cost, and it looks like the miner fee would be 1,000 sats. The service fee would be 1,000 sats, and we would have an extra 100,000 sats of receiving liquidity for a full year. In other words, Phoenix would lock up around $83 or 100,000 sats at the time of recording this video for the next year if we pay 2,099 sats, which is like $1.76. Now, we can request more than that. So let's start bumping it up. Let's say we wanted to double our capacity. So instead of being able to receive 500,000 sats, we want an extra 500, around $420 worth of liquidity, for a total of, we could receive 1 million sats worth of payments without running into fees. Let's see what that would cost. So it would cost us a total of about $5.45 or 6,500 sats for them to lock up around $420 for us to be able to receive payments on top of our existing liquidity for the next year. Not bad. Now, what if you really want to make it count? 10 million sats, a no headache up to $8,300, which if you have $8,300 US in a Lightning hot wallet, that might be a bit excessive, but hey, let's take a look at what it would cost for that. For Phoenix to lock up $8,300 for us to be able to accept easy payments, that would cost around $85 for them to do that, or 100,000 sats. So that is, again, an option for us to explore. For the example of this video, I'm going to maybe just add 250,000 sats just so we can see what that looks like. We'll estimate the cost. It says that'll cost us around $3. That looks pretty good to me, so I'm going to hit review. It says you are requesting an initial amount of liquidity. It is not constant over time. As you receive funds over Lightning, the liquidity will be consumed and become part of your balance. After 1 year, the remaining unused liquidity will be reclaimed by the service. I'm going to say, I understand. I'm going to hit confirm, and it will automate it for me. And right away, you see the numbers change. Hey, you added 250,000 sats worth of inbound capacity. Our current liquidity is now 755,000 sats. So let's go back. Now, it removed the fee from my balance that I had. So you may find that if you go to request a large amount, you need to actually first fund the wallet with a certain amount. So with that, I can see, hey, look, I'm now capable of receiving as much as was in the previous screen, 750,000 roughly. And there's the fee. It gives me all of the additional information of what I purchased there because it's coming from Phoenix. So there we have it. 2 different ways to set your Phoenix wallet up to receive a lot of inbound payments. So now let's actually take a look at receiving payments via Lightning into Phoenix in all of the different ways that we can. All right, so we are going to receive some Lightning payments here in a variety of ways. Starting down at the bottom, we're going to hit receive, and we're just going to use the plain QR code here without any amount encoded in it. And we're just going to copy that information here. And I'm going to pop over to another wallet, Strike, and we're going to hit send here. And we're going to say Bitcoin wallet. And we'll just paste in the information, which comes up with a 0 amount. And we're now free to type in any amount we want. So maybe we'll send over 1234. So 1,234 sats. I'll hit next. I'll confirm it. And off it goes. So let's go back to Phoenix and take a look. We've received it already. Everything worked just fine. Again, let's now try with an invoice. So if we want to set a specific amount on this same screen, we're going to hit the edit button as we did before. We'll type in an amount. Let's say 2,345. That's around $2. We'll hit create invoice. Again, that changes the QR code a little bit. All the information is here. It can be scanned, or again, we can copy the information and give it to somebody or send it via message, whatever. We'll jump back to Strike again as an example. We'll hit send, Bitcoin wallet, and we'll paste in the information we had. It should now tell it exactly what we're sending, 2,345, plus they have a 2 sat fee here. I'm going to hit confirm, and off it should go, no problem. And if I jump back to Phoenix, we get the notification that we've received the transaction, and I can back out. I can see both transactions right there using regular Lightning invoices, either blank or with an amount. Okay, now I want to show you how to receive a Lightning payment via something called a Bolt 12 offer. Now, what's the difference when I hit receive? What's the difference between this QR code here and something down below that says show you reusable QR code? I'm going to copy it. We'll copy the payment code is what it's called. And we're going to jump over back to Strike again. And let's just see how it reacts. We're going to hit send to a Bitcoin wallet, and we'll paste in the information. Once again, it gives us a blank invoice. So we want to be able to pay whatever amount we want. So we'll just do, again, let's do, I don't know, 4,235. That's about $3.50. Okay. So we're going to hit next. It tells us what it's going to cost plus the fee. We'll hit confirm. Lightning transaction sent. We jump back, and there's a notification letting us know we have received. Go back out, and there we are. Now, those look very, very similar transactionally, but what was the difference between them? Difference is when you hit receive and you use the regular Lightning QR code here, or you set a specific amount, those QR codes and the strings of digits that you copy and paste, those are one-time uses. Once they have been paid, you can't use the same code again. So this QR code, once a payment goes to it, it can't be reused. However, down below, as it indicates, Bolt 12, this QR code here, this is a reusable QR code. You could paste this on the internet, or you can copy the payment code here as we did. Both of those things can be copied and pasted and put anywhere. And anyone that has a Bolt 12 capable Lightning wallet will be able to send many different payments to it. So it's just kind of a perpetual static code that anyone can use to send you payments without you having to regenerate a new invoice every single time. And you can actually have a Lightning address that does the same thing. And I'm going to show you really quick in the settings how to enable that, because it is still a new kind of experimental feature. So I'll back out. Down in the bottom left, we're going to scroll down to the bottom. There's something called experimental features we'll click on. And then it says claim my address. I'm going to click that now. And it gives me this, what is it? Frill letter 72 at phoenixwallet.me. It's a randomly generated address that will link to my Lightning wallet. So I can copy that from here. But now that we've added it, if I go back to the main screen, if I hit receive and say show reusable QR code, it now has my dedicated address down at the bottom as well. So let's try using that again. So we're going to hit copy. We're going to copy this time the human readable address, and then we'll jump over to Strike. We'll hit send. We'll say Bitcoin wallet, and we'll paste in that info. And once again, we get to the screen where it has a blank amount. And so we'll just do 3214. Next, it's going to say, okay, you're trying to send this much plus a fee. We'll hit confirm, and off it should go. We'll hit OK. And we'll go back, and there's our notification. So we've received a payment that way. So with Bolt 12, those two things, the payment code, the QR code, and my special address there, all of those are reusable. They can receive as many payments as they want. Whereas the regular Lightning invoice here, whether it's blank or with an amount, is a one-time use. Now, one other note with the Bolt 12, anybody that has Phoenix, and I believe some other wallets are going to start to integrate this, the ones that are using Bolt 12, is that you can actually add contacts with their Bolt 12 addresses or their payment codes. So if I go into settings in the bottom left, and then I say my contacts, I can actually hit the plus sign in the top right. I can give somebody a name, and I can paste in their Bolt 12 code, or I can scan it, and then I can save them in as a contact to easily be able to send them a payment for any amount at any time. So super convenient when it comes to Bolt 12. Unfortunately, not a ton of wallets have implemented this yet. Strike enables you to pay with to Bolt 12 addresses. Hopefully they'll add in receiving as well soon. I think there's some others that are kind of looking at it, but would love to see this roll out much wider. But nonetheless, if you and a friend have Phoenix, easy to add each other in this fashion. So I want to dedicate this section to understanding more about Lightning channels and how your actions within Phoenix Wallet affect the Lightning channel that you have and your ability to send and receive payments with or without fees. So first up, let's take a look at what a Lightning channel actually is. A Lightning channel is a connection from you to another individual, or rather your node, your Lightning node, to another Lightning node, in which there is a set amount of Bitcoin that is locked up between you. You can picture it like beads on a string, like the image here, and those beads can be shifted back and forth between the two entities. So here we have an example up top of you, kind of like when we first loaded Bitcoin onto your wallet, you held all of the Bitcoin, which meant you'd be able to then spend any Bitcoin that you had, but you couldn't receive Bitcoin, at least not without adjusting the size of the channel, which would require a fee. Anytime you need to alter the channel by growing it or shrinking it, you need to pay a regular Bitcoin on-chain fee. In the example down below, you can see that you have spent some Bitcoin. And so there's some Bitcoin on either side of the channel. And it shows that there's 3 dots or 3 units or 3 sats or 3 Bitcoin, whatever we want to consider it. The amount is irrelevant, but there's 3 on your side. There's 2 on the other side of the channel. That means you could send up to 3 units. You could receive up to 2 units. So you're able to shift back and forth. Now, this isn't kind of the end of it, because either one of you may have other connections to other people. So let's say this person on the other side of the connection has channels with other individuals. What you can do is effectively bump payments through them. So you send 2 units to their side of the channel with the explicit instruction that they are to send 2 units from one of their other channels to the other side of the channel and string it together all the way down the line to the intended recipient. And this is how Lightning functions. It's going bump, bump, bump all the way down the line to get to the person that needs the payment. So let's take a look at the real Lightning channel that we have created in Phoenix by funding it and by adding liquidity. So we did it in multiple ways. We had a channel with X amount of Bitcoin in it when we sent a regular on-chain transaction into the wallet. We grew the size of our channel by sending another large Lightning payment into Phoenix Wallet greater than the amount we had. So this is kind of like this example up top where we have 5 beads on the string, and we wanted more beads on the string. So we sent more than we had, and so it incurred a fee, but it added the number of units we could deal with. And then finally, we paid to make a larger channel. And this would be the equivalent of somebody adding more beads to the opposite side of the channel, to the person that you're connected to. They're adding beads to their side so that when you want to receive payments, they can slide those beads over your way. So we did that. We basically added and grew our channel 3 different ways. So let's take a look. So here we are. We're going to go down to settings in the bottom left. If we scroll down, we can see payment channels. And if I click there, it shows our Lightning channel overview. And so we can see everything about the state of our Lightning channel. So up top here, we can see the total amount split across what we can send versus what we can receive. The green is what we own and what we can send, about 17,288 sats, currently worth around $14.50. The amount that we could receive into our wallet is around 744,000 sats, which is around $623 without incurring any additional on-chain fees. And down below, we just have a summary of the channel as a whole. The total size of the channel is 763,000 sats, of which we own around 17,000 sats. So this gives us a breakdown of our actual channel. It's just another version of the little graphic that we have here on the other side, showing us how many beads are on our side of the string. And any time that we do an action that adjusts the total number of beads on the string, it will incur a fee. But if we're moving just to and from on the string, then our fees are going to be much, much lower. So let's get a little bit more specific with how Phoenix Wallet deals with Lightning channels on your behalf and some of the tips and tricks that you can use based on your goals with Phoenix Wallet and how you plan on using it. So number one, as I said, people can have multiple connections or lightning channels to different individuals or nodes on the network. However, with Phoenix Wallet, the parent company Async has a lightning node, and to keep things as convenient as possible for you as a user, you will always have a single lightning channel to Async's node, and they will deal with making sure that they have great connections to other nodes to be able to route the rest of your payment beyond sending from you to them. Now, this does keep it convenient, but there's some considerations to make here. Every time you do a transaction that is on-chain, a regular Bitcoin transaction, it's going to incur a fee because it's a regular Bitcoin transaction. And what's happening in the background is something called splicing. So if you have an existing Lightning channel and you receive a Bitcoin transaction, a regular one, not a Lightning transaction, a regular one, what's actually happening in the background is your existing channel is closed and a new channel is opened, which combines your previous balance, the previous size of the channel, and then adds in the additional on-chain Bitcoin that is coming. So it makes an entirely new Lightning channel that is now bigger, with you having the appropriate amount that you should have. If you go to send a regular Bitcoin transaction, an on-chain transaction, it will shrink the size of your channel. You can think of it as adding or removing beads from your string, but in reality, you're getting rid of the whole string and creating a new one with the appropriate amount of beads. And that's where the fees are incurred. So you need to be careful if you want to keep the same size of a Lightning channel that you're not sending regular Bitcoin transactions out of Phoenix unless you're okay with your channel shrinking a little bit. This is why doing things like swaps via bolts or sending over to Aqua and swapping within that wallet, those are actions to get around sending and shrinking your Phoenix channel and utilizing the swap functions of these other services or wallets elsewhere while maintaining what's known as your liquidity, the size of your channel, your ability to send and receive on Lightning. Now, you can also grow the size of your channel, as we saw, by receiving a Lightning transaction that is larger than the total amount that you're capable of receiving. But once again, that's going to incur a fee, and Phoenix will handle the rest. They will create the new larger channel for you. Now, the one instance or the two instances where you're not going to be incurring any sort of on-chain fees and you're not going to be shrinking or growing your channel is when you're sending regular Lightning transactions that are within the confines of the channel that you have. Let's say there's 100,000 sats in your channel and you've got 50,000 on your side and then there's 50,000 on the other side. You can receive up to 50,000 sats, or you could send up to 50,000 sats at that moment in time, and your channel would stay exactly the same. Now let's cover the fees that are paid via Phoenix Wallet. Of course, it's all self-custodial, but you should be aware of the fact that because they are managing the Lightning node infrastructure and channel creation, all of that, Phoenix makes money, obviously, by automating all of this for you to make it simple so you don't have to deal with it. And so here are the fees that they deal with. So when you send a regular Lightning transaction, they take 0.4% plus 4 sats. When you send an on-chain Bitcoin transaction, you're just going to pay the mining fees, which are chosen by you, the user. When you receive via Lightning, assuming you have a Lightning channel and everything, there's no fees. When you receive via Lightning with an insufficiently sized channel, meaning that they've got to adjust the size of your channel and make it bigger, then you're going to be paying 1% plus whatever the on-chain mining fee is. When you're requesting liquidity and creating a larger channel via their service, Same thing. You're going to be paying 1%. You're going to be paying 1% plus the mining fees. When you receive on chain, it's just the mining fees. And when you create a new channel, it is 1,000 sats, or any sort of act that will cause the creation of a new channel is 1,000 sats. Again, it says to optimize your fees when using Lightning, check the liquidity entry, and it gives us a little bit more detail there. But that should give you a decent idea of how the fee structure works within Phoenix. Now, we mentioned earlier in the video in and around mining fees and channel creation, we got a notification early on that we could adjust our fees. So let's take a look at how to do that now. So if I go to the bottom right and I click on these settings, there is the option for channel management. And I'll click on that. And there is automated channel management, which by default is on. And I'm going to leave that on here. But we see the max fee amount. Payments whose fees exceed this value will be rejected. And so if you receive a regular Bitcoin transaction or a Lightning transaction that exceeds the size of your existing Lightning channel, then Phoenix will create a new channel for you or grow your channel, however you want to phrase it. With this, though, the fee is set to a certain amount. So if Bitcoin fees are heightened because it's especially busy, and Phoenix checks and it's going to cost you over 5,000 sats, or around $4 time of this video, Phoenix will actually just freeze that, not freeze it, but they'll give you the on-chain amount into your wallet. It will sit on the sidelines, and then it will trigger an on-chain movement to create you a larger channel when the fees are low enough to justify. Otherwise, if you still want to use those funds, regardless of the fees going up, you would go into this section, you would up the amount here to allow it to execute, and then you would be able to create a channel. So just keep that in mind, that this is kind of your protector from opening a channel at a bad time, but you can always come back here and adjust it if you see fit. Now, Phoenix allows you to actually connect to your own Bitcoin node. And so we're going to take a look at how to do that here. I've got my Start 9 node running on my shelf, and we're going to be utilizing that today. And we're going to take a look here in Phoenix where that connection is. So if we go down to the bottom left, and we're all the way down, well, not all the way down, but a little bit further down, there's two options that we're going to need to address here. Number one is Electrum server. Number two is Tor. Actually, we're going to do Tor first. So I'm going to click on Tor, and we're going to enable it. And this will allow me to connect to my node from anywhere, because Start 9 by default currently runs via Tor. There'll be some more options for that later on down the road. But I'm going to turn on Tor here. It says, this requires installing a third-party Tor proxy VPN app, such as Orbot. Tor can improve privacy, but may cause performance issues and missed payments. I understand and confirm. And so I'm going to need to get Tor. I'm going to need to get Orbot in order to enable this. So I'm going to make sure I have the application, and we'll see how to set it up. So jumping ahead here, when I'm sharing my screen with Orbot, it doesn't let me actually show what I'm doing in the app. So I'm going to describe it to you. Orbot, you can download. And when you do, there's a button that says Start VPN. Once it connects to the Tor network, it will then also allow you to select what apps are going to access Tor through it. And when you go to select apps, you simply checkmark Phoenix and you hit OK and save. I did restart Phoenix after doing that and having Tor switched on. It took a moment to connect, but now you can see in the top left-hand corner, there's a little checkbox that says Tor. So I'm connected via Tor. Now that's not it. You can just leave it as this if you just want the additional privacy of a Tor connection, which would help you in that you're connecting to Phoenix's or Async's node. So that's helpful. But I think it's worth, if you have your own node running at home, to connect via Tor to your node. And so what we're going to do next is go down to settings, and we're going to choose Electrum server. And so I can click here where it says connected to, and there's this address. I'm going to connect, and I'm going to say use a custom server. And then it says to use default 50002 as the port. So I'm going to click here, and I need to get my host address, an onion address, and port 50002 is what I need. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to my Start 9 node. If you're unfamiliar, check the show notes. There's a video on how to use it. I am looking for ElectRS, Electrum Rust server. That's what the application that I need. I'm going to click there. And there is something that says properties. And under properties, I will find an onion address. It's a string of digits that says .onion at the end. And that's what I want. Having copied that from the properties menu here, I'm going to jump back and I'm going to paste it under server address. And then at the end, I'm going to add a colon, the 2 dots, and 50002 at the end. And I've hit connect after pasting all that in and typing colon 50002 at the end. It says you're connecting to a custom server, and hopefully that will go through and connect on the other side of this. So I did some testing with the initial one, and actually I found that using 50001 instead, which shows in my Start 9, it connected me right away. So I'm now connected to my own Bitcoin node via Tor with my Lightning wallet. And there we go. So everything now, all of my block information about what Bitcoin I own is going through Tor and connecting to my Start 9 node with my Phoenix Lightning node running on my actual phone, connected through Async's node for me to route payments. All right, so let's say that you are ready to sweep your wallet for whatever reason. You're moving to something else, or you just want to get all of the funds out and have a clean sweep and perhaps, start a new wallet or use Phoenix on another phone without having to import it. You're starting from scratch. Nonetheless, you want all of the funds out of the wallet. How do you go about doing that? Well, we're going to do that right now. So I can go down to the bottom left, click settings. We're going to scroll down to the bottom, and we're going to click close channels. And this immediately asks me for a Bitcoin address. I can either paste it in, or I can hit the little square off to the right to open the camera and scan a QR code, which I'm going to do now with Phoenix Wallet here, or rather with Sparrow Wallet on my desktop. So I'm scanning that Bitcoin address. I'll jump back to my wallet here, and that's now scanned in, and it just gives me one option: drain my wallet. So I'm going to do that now. It says all the funds will be sent here. Is that okay? Confirm. One channel has been closed. You can find the details on the home screen. If I jump over here, I should see a notification momentarily for an incoming transaction into my on-chain wallet. And there we go. We have the notification of funds coming in. So we know that that worked. Let's jump back to Phoenix. We'll back out of this screen. And again, we'll back out to the main screen. And we can see we now have zero balance. It says closing channel right now. And if we go to settings and we go to payment channels, we can see this is closing. We have no funds on our side. And pretty soon that will be completely removed from here. So we no longer have a Lightning channel, and we can now go ahead and we can actually wipe the wallet if we see fit. We can do that by going down to settings, down to the bottom, and reset wallet. We'll hit review, says wallet will be completely deleted. This will reset the app. Your payments history will be lost. You'll be taken into the intro screen and prompted to create or restore the wallet. I have saved my recovery phrase. Yes. I understand that if I lose my phone and my recovery phrase, I will lose the funds. Yes. It's already been sent. I'm going to hit delete wallet. It gets rid of everything. I hit OK, and we're back to the beginning. If you needed to recover with your 12 words, you would hit next through the intros. You would hit restore my wallet. I understand. And you would enter in your words here and click restore. So to wrap up here, some key takeaways. Let's place Phoenix on a scale of sovereignty, most self-sovereign to least. And so when we're talking about using Bitcoin and the Lightning Network, if you want to be optimally self-sovereign, you'd be doing something like running your own Lightning node, like a Start9 server on your shelf at home. That thing would be running 100% of the time, barring any downtime. You'd be managing all of your own Lightning channels and everything and dealing with any problems. And so, yes, maximally self-sovereign, also maximum amount of effort to maintain and use. And that may be too high of a threshold for some. Moving down the line, up next would be Phoenix. This is where you can do it all from your mobile device. You have full self-custody of your funds in that you have an actual Lightning channel where you own the funds on your side of the channel. You have automated liquidity, so you don't actually have to really deal with the Lightning channel. It just kind of does it for you. The trade-offs here are that you still do need some knowledge in how you're using Phoenix so that you use it efficiently and you avoid fees when you're able to. And beyond that, you are also reliant on Async's node. And so there can be some privacy issues there if you're not using Tor. And if you are using Tor, it's going to be a little slower and harder to connect at times. Nonetheless, still an incredible option in terms of maximizing self-sovereignty without too much legwork. Moving further down the scale, you get something like an Aqua wallet. And this is where you actually don't deal with Lightning channels at all because natively in the background, it uses something called the Liquid network, which I won't go into too much nuance now. You can check out a video on them down below. Either way, there's no messing with Lightning channels. You can receive transactions right away via Lightning or Liquid or on-chain. You can do a whole bunch of different things, and it's made for convenience, but there are some trade-offs too. It's not quite as quick as regular Lightning transactions. The fees at times can be a little bit higher, but still nowhere near as expensive as a regular Bitcoin transaction. And then there is a slight trust trade-off in that you're trusting something called the Liquid Federation. Again, not going to get too deep into it, but there is some trust involved. Then finally, for maximum convenience, you would have a fully custodial model with something like, say, Wallet of Satoshi. And this is where you open it up, it works right out the box. You don't have to mess with anything. It's instant, it's quick, it's cheap, but you are trusting a single point of failure with full custody of your funds. So if they ever disappeared or got hacked, your money would be gone. And in instances like those, that's where you want to exercise the most caution and have the least amount of funds available in a wallet like that. So I hope this helps you kind of envision where Phoenix sits in that hierarchy and helps you make the best decisions for what mobile wallet that uses Lightning is best for you. Let me know what you think about Phoenix and your experiences with it in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, like, subscribe, share. Those all help a ton in getting this in front of more eyeballs. You can also check out bitcoinmentor.io if you need some additional hand-holding in getting yourself help with Phoenix Wallet or anything else in your Bitcoin journey. Excellent educators that I've vetted myself that can walk you through one-on-one in video calls to make sure that you know how to secure your Bitcoin properly. Keep stacking sats, keep stacking skills. I'm Ben with the BTC Sessions. This was your daily session.